So last week we talked about arc measure, and today it's arc length. So the measure always came from the center of the circle, right? And if this guy was 48 degrees, then the measure of the arc was, let's call that AB, was also 48 degrees. Now the arc length has to do with, what is it called when we know the measure all the way around a circle? Circumference. Yeah, the circumference. So if I know the circumference, that means I should be able to figure out how long an arc is. In fact, what do you recognize that as? That is how we find circumference, right there. And Tyler, I just heard you say 360. Where did 360 come from?
The whole circle.
Yeah, there are 360 degrees in a circle. So we already know this, and it's just going to add an extra piece. So let's start off with this first question up here. What is the length of an arc of a circle with a measure of 220 degrees? All right, so I might choose, just because we're talking about this. So here's my 220 degrees right there. And it wants to know how long this is right here. And all we need to do is use this formula. It says 2 pi radius. Does it tell me my radius? Radius is 11. And then that says times the measure of the angle, which it tells me is 220 divided by 360. And do you remember the difference between in terms of pi or round to the nearest tenth? Let's round this to the nearest tenth. So I'm just going to grab my calculator. Let's turn that light on so you guys can see it a little bit better. And maybe I'll just type exactly like I see it. 2, where is pi? There it is, second above the caret, times 11 times, and then I can go alpha y equals, there's my fraction, 220 divided by 360. If I asked you to round to the nearest tenth, that would be 40.2 inches in this case. What do you think? I know it's the first time you've done it, but
That's easy.
not so scary. We'll do another one. All right. Larry is walking around the moon, and he crosses an arc that measures 3 degrees. How far did he walk? Any guesses? No guesses? Okay, so we know that his little wedge that he went is 3 degrees. All right, so same thing. 2 pi. What's our radius? Yeah, the radius of the moon is 1079 times measure of the angle, which is 3 over 360. I'll grab my calculator.
How did you do the pi symbol?
It's, do you see the division button? You see the caret button above it?
Yeah.
Pi is right above the caret, and because it's blue, you need to hit second.
Oh.
You get it to work?
Yeah.
Perfect. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't type 1079. Like, that's way too tiny. I messed up. So he went 56.5 miles. It's a good thing he weighs less in space, so he could just hop, skip, and jump across that, right? How do you feel about that? Thumbs up? Okay, we talked about this, but we didn't write it in. Arc length is distance around the edge of the circle. Arc measure is based on central angle, right? So, two things. There is a new assignment, but don't forget to go back and complete the 2 problems I had you skip on Friday.